I don't know. Our episode's about to be about this now, so
I know,
I'm
sure.
fucking furious.
We got a really crazy, error
I'm watching
message.
you on my Netflix account on my Mac Mini, which I travel with from home to work.
But
That's
it's
why
my
I got a Mac Mini.
house,
But I guess because we're in her house, either through the Wi-Fi or something, it thinks that we're pirating. And so
we're about to.
So I had to apply for a temporary passcode for 14 days, so I can now watch my own Netflix account on my Mac Mini for 14 days. I don't know what happens when I'm back home, and
yeah.
So
let's mark that in the calendar, and we'll find out on the 18th. Let's see.
Yeah, Netflix, help me help you. How do I watch? How do I do this?
Yo ho.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching You, Season 5, Episodes 1 through 3. Yeah. We love this show, so we're watching it. We're doing full reactions on the Patreon, but there's a lot happening in life and all that, so we're sort of checking in spurts for YouTube. So I just wanted to check in. I am enjoying this. How do you feel?
I am. It just is. I feel like we do the same thing every season because we get started and we're like, oh, wow, really cool and interesting. He's in this place. He's like...
He's got his life figured out. Everything's coming up, Joe.
He's got his life together. This woman sees the whole him.
This amazing woman finally.
Loves every part of him. It's amazing. He's turned a corner. He's turned over a new leaf. And then it's like, I don't know, 30 minutes into episode 1, he's murdered Uncle Bob. And then by the beginning of the second episode, he's got the incorrect twin locked up in his freaking bookstore basement again. I do like that we are back in the OG sets and stuff.
I almost don't. I'm fine with it.
I like it.
I love this. I love the sensibilities of the show. I had forgotten it was Sarah Gamble, and I don't have enough Sarah Gamble in my life right now.
And also Greg Berlanti. Yeah.
I really like its sensibilities. I think, in spite of his best efforts, Penn Badgley is extremely appealing.
Yeah.
And don't read interviews. He's kind of annoying. He always feels the need to lecture us about not understanding the show, which I don't. I have a fundamental misunderstanding.
But that's the thing is, like, I understand the show, but it's the thing that we talk about all the time. Joe, even though he is doing bad things, he's been presented as the hero or anti-hero of this show. Of course I want him to keep getting away with it. That's how you wrote the show. Like, obviously he's a bad guy and he should be in prison, but, like, I don't know. I like watching it.
I think it's close enough to Dexter that I keep thinking we're dealing, like, I think Dexter's more redeemable than...
Dexter's way more redeemable, because Dexter is, like, very specifically... he, like, messes up sometimes, but he is, like, going after
he has
bad
an actual
people.
Code.
He has, like, a legitimate moral code, and Joe's code is basically, like, I'll kill anyone who gets in my way, even if they are the most tangentially related to my plot that's going on right now.
But no, back to Penn, I was going to say, I'm always surprised at how good of an actor I think he actually is.
He's really good.
I think because Dan was such a drip, I sort of forget.
Well, it's kind of like how for a long time I was like, I don't think I like Nina Dobrev. And then I was like, wait a minute, though, actually. Because there are scenes in that TV show where she is... Catherine pretending to be Elena, pretending to be Catherine, and you're like, like, it's incredible. And so I think that's kind of like, and also he was on the Call Me Daddy podcast, and he was talking about Dan and Gossip Girl and everything, and he just was like, they all hoped it was gonna be Dorota.
That would have been so good.
And he was like, it really couldn't have been, but because it like had to be one of the like 6 of them. But he was like, I really wanted it to be Dorota, and I was like, that's amazing.
But no, I really like the sensibilities of the show.
Yeah,
I like the sense of humor. It's very stylish. It's like I don't think it's an expensive show, but it looks like
expensive,
it is.
yeah.
Like we're very frequently dealing with wealthy people
Yeah, like
locations.
the only season we weren't was season 1. Yeah.
And even that, I mean, Peach was rich.
Peach was rich, yeah.
But the, like, and the actors are good. Like, I have liked, this is actually a good place to start, but I have liked almost every single girl. Having said that, Bronte is trying my patience.
Okay. All right, so I've mentioned this before. Somebody semi-recently asked if we were going to cover The Handmaid's Tale, and I was like, no. It's not really our vibe. It's not really our brand. I really love the book. But I didn't make it past episode 3 when they were doing female genital mutilation.
I made it to episode 2 and I was like, I'm not watching this.
Yeah. And so, but the thing is that I really do like Madeline Brewer. She plays Janine, the one-eyed one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I like her a lot and I think she's a great actress. But this bitch is bananas. Like,
she is so manic.
That's the thing is like it's so immediate too, because you were like, she's crazier than Love, and I was like, the thing with Love is that her crazy was really simmering under the surface. So we didn't get her full crazy until she was also planning to kill Joe and he had to kill her first. So it's like we really built to that, but this bitch is crazy right out of the gate.
She is
immediately,
and I mean, to your point, Madeline, I think she's a good actress, and like I said, so far everyone on the show is. But it's like, are we calling her Bronte? It's Louise.
Her name is really Louise Flannery, which, like, Jesus Christ, do we need to jerk off like classic literature any further? Like, you're killing me. And so it was like she picked the most literary name she could find when she got to New York City or whatever, and I was like, that's the most surface level.
She's like
literary name.
She's oh my god, yeah. She's like overly familiar, and she's got way too much gumption.
Yeah,
and because it goes back to my issue, like I said, with like my problem watching the show is I'm like, he's helping you out. Like, he's doing you multiple favors.
Yeah.
Why are you being so...
The minute that she was like, so he told her not to go into the basement,
mm-hmm.
and she immediately pulled up a YouTube video on how to break into the...
You were like, there were steps.
I was like, because that's the thing we were talking about. I forget now. We were talking about something the other day, but it also goes into the Last of Us thing where it's like, there are so many places I would stop, like, where your brain has to be like, oh, I'm doing something insane. And so it's like, she moved the bookcase,
mm-hmm.
she opened the first door, fine. Then you see a caged door that, or like a, like wire, whatever.
I also just would have believed his tetanus excuse.
Exactly. And it's got like a locking mechanism on it. And then you pull up a YouTube video, and then you're in the YouTube video with your lock picking kit, apparently. Did she go out and buy that? Like, it's so many steps further that I would have been like, there can't be anything cool enough down there for me to care about. And then she gets down there, she sees the cage full of rare books, and continues to lose her mind, goes inside of it, and then it auto locks behind her, and then she's just like stuck in there for hours. And I was just like, the minute I saw the cage down there too, I would have been like, bye. So I actually do think there's something else going on with her, because
I do too.
She's read Beck's book, and she read Carrie and Sherry's book.
And she's being overly familiar, and she's being overly confident about everything.
And she very specifically was like, I can't have an affair with a married man, and then like came on to him harder than anyone ever has.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to talk a little bit in between, is because I was like, I think that there's something else. Like, I think she's either not real, or she's like a psyop or something. Like, they're trying to, like, she's with the feds or something. I don't know.
That would be great.
Like, engineered in a lab to get his motor running. Which...
Yeah, because obviously, too, all of a sudden, so Kate is feeling really guilty about having her Uncle Bob murdered. Obviously, because he was going to call for a vote of no confidence with the board. There's a lot of corporate intrigue happening.
Yeah, it's actually very follow the House of Usher.
Sure, yeah.
Which I'm fine with. But do we know what the company is? It just business?
I think so.
Or okay,
yeah.
Because
so Reagan said something about venture capitalist.
Okay,
which is basically like, sort of like Shark Tank, where it's like, I'll invest money, you give me X percentage back, and that you keep building your thing as they build their thing.
Because I like remember broad strokes from the previous seasons, but I
well, she was not involved in the business then either, because she had killed all those kids. She had given cancer to all those kids because of this pipeline. So
she allowed the children to get cancer.
She's taking it on. She held a gun to every single kid's head
into these kids. But so she's like, after her father died, she has the company, and she's being more altruistic. She's like, she knows that Joe has killed before, and she has her own sordid past, and so she thinks that together they're like turning over a new leaf, and they are largely doing that. But the problem is she's taking it.
The problem is, you know what's on the other side of that leaf?
It's the same leaf. A Candy Muse. Say what you will, but it is the same leaf.
Yeah. And
so her uncle, the family's full of sharks except for Teddy.
Yeah.
Except for Teddy, who's awesome.
He was like,
we're terrified something's gonna end up happening
to him. So he was like outside the family because he was like an affair. I think they are from different. So her and the twins, I think, are from different mothers, but they were, I think, both married to Greg Kinnear, but I think Teddy was an affair, given that vacuum cleaner comment that Reagan said, which was, like, horrible.
I think Reagan might be a little bit of a racist.
She's not great. So there was that. And so basically, Kate is the CEO, Bob was the chief operating officer, Reagan is the chief financial officer, and Madison is the, PR. I thought she was just along for the ride. No, she's like PR for the company. And then Teddy is doing something. I don't remember what it was, but Kate is trying to get him a seat on the board because they are very tight because she brought him into the fold.
He also is like a little bit of a fixer for her. Like he like handles things for Kate.
He like finds out a lot of information, which is great. I like that.
And he and Joe get along.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to the Bronte stuff, I think. I've been holding on to this for so long, but I think you're right. I think that there's something else happening with her because she reminds me of Delaney Rowe, the TikTok Reels girl who does all of the videos of like the insufferable female lead in the rom-com.
Yeah.
Get back here, you're gonna catch a cold.
Yeah, I hope so. Come on. Quincy, I know you're scared. Yeah, there are a lot of things in this life that can hurt us. Sharks, heights, a Martian brain-sucking alien that's come to Earth to abduct you. But not this. Not the rain. When it rains, the world pays attention. Be the rain.
Who is also dating BJ Novak now.
Shut up. She's the brown-haired one, right?
Yeah. That's too good at it.
Because she's like, I make you pancakes in the morning. It's insufferable.
Or like she brings you to the roof and it's like, this is the exact spot where the stars were shining the first night that we looked up the definition of kissing and that kind of.
I followed her.
She's fantastic, but it's like really too good.
But I followed her for a little while, and then I was like getting hives watching her videos, and I was like, I can't be doing this anymore.
But no, there's like an undercurrent or an overcurrent of that.
Sure, yeah.
That I'm sort of like, ugh. So yeah, Bob was gonna like have Kate kicked to the curb because she's not making like savage business enough.
Okay, so
decisions.
She's doing a lot of like philanthropy with the company, and basically what she did was she announced at this gala situation that a quarter of the like revenue or whatever was going to go to charity, but she did it behind the board's back. So she announced it publicly that was in the first episode, so they'd have to follow through, but she didn't get the board's approval. So he and Reagan were going to call for a vote of no confidence again amongst the board. And so she asked Joe to take care of Uncle Bob, and now she's feeling very guilty about it in a way that he's like, she finally understood the real me, and she's like, you're terrifying to me. So now I'm also very worried for Kate.
I mean, I am too. I was more upset about it going in, but I do think they've sidelined her, which is
a little bit. Yeah.
The show, as much as we enjoy it, we are sort of glad. I think 5 seasons in this day and age is a solid run for a show that was canceled by Lifetime after 1 season.
That's right. It did come on Lifetime that first season. Also, shockingly, I guess depending on how it ends, Netflix is letting this have a natural end.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Netflix doesn't do that. How many shows do we love that they just fucking canceled on a cliffhanger?
It was very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Santa Clarita Diet was very popular in my heart. I needed at least a movie.
I was more concerned for Kate going in, and I mean, I like Kate, and I'm going to be sad if she's just like dispatched of. But my point is, she's a little bit being sidelined, I think, by the show, and that's what I started to say is the show. Well, yeah, because he's moved on
to the next bitch now.
Does have a formula, and that's I have like 5 problems with the show, because that's the other one is not only do I keep falling for his bullshit and thinking he's the hero, the lead, but I keep falling for each additional new girl, thinking this is gonna be the Beauty to the Beast.
This will be the one that if love could not fully understand him, no bitch can. And I'm not against your idea that that Bronte is a plant. Like you said FBI, and I'm like, that's actually not terrible. That's not a terrible gambit.
I forgot what the deal was with Beck's book. He wrote it, didn't he?
Well, I think he
finished it?
He did give her stuff in the cage so that she could write it, but then he killed her anyway, because I think she tried to escape again.
And he pinned it on John Stamos.
He pinned it on John Stamos, and then he posthumously had it published for her. Yeah.
And then I was actually kind of hoping we would see Sherry and Carrie. I wanted them on a TV screen or something.
I would love
which I don't think is going to happen, but they've at least mentioned them because Bronte's also read their book.
Yeah.
And he covered himself really well, though, where he was like, I gave her that idea.
Yeah.
Like,
love.
Yeah.
Because he was like, because I told her that Mr. Mooney used to trap me down here as like a punishment. And I had forgotten that bit that he did that.
And his son is back in play. It was the son
hucking knives and throwing hands.
I am coming for everything. Your job, your son, your pathetic fucking family.
Oh my God! He just threw a knife at me.
It was a butter knife.
All right, I think it's time you all got the fuck out.
We'll talk about throwing knives for now.
Fucking butter knives at Anna Camp's face.
Anna Camp also is. I feel like she's so underrated, and she's also just like in one of the like biggest female movie franchises of the last 20 years, and I feel like she's so underrated, and I love her so much. And this duality that she's able to be playing with Reagan and Maddie is so good.
I agree completely. The only thing I will say in her defense is she gets to do good work.
That's true.
Where it's like, yes, I think she should be a bigger deal, and like I think she should be more like
of a household name.
Yeah. But she is in so many good, like you said, she's in Pitch Perfect, she's in True Blood, she's in Kimmy Schmidt. Like the way that she like pops up and fits, like I'm kind of astonished that we didn't get to her before season 5 of this show.
Sure.
Where, you know what I mean? Yeah. Where I'm like, we didn't implement her in season 2 or 3. And clown makeup, putting it on, I think that she might get out of the cage.
If this Reagan gambit, because he's got Madison in the cage, and is it Madison? They just keep calling her Maddie, so sorry, Maddie. He's got her in the cage, and now it turns out that Reagan is trying to be Maddie, like apologizing for this affair that she's been having with Reagan's husband, which is hilarious.
I mean, I knew that they were like anytime that there's twins in a
Yeah.
show, let alone a show like this being played by the same actor,
Yeah.
I knew that like shenanigans were on the table, and even with that, I did not see it coming.
You're like, I had no idea.
I was gagged.
So Reagan also apparently made Maddie have her baby, like be her surrogate, which is nuts. So anyway, since Reagan is now pretending to be Maddie, giving up board control, like her board seat to Reagan, now Joe is like, hey, do you want to be your sister? Because then she can have the man, the husband that she's in love with, and the baby that is actually hers, technically. I think that's the smart gambit. I called it before Joe, so I'm smarter than him.
Yes.
Let's just... He's just like, I'm a genius. And I was like, you're not a fucking genius. Or this would have happened, this would have occurred to you before.
I like when people are in cahoots with Joe. And it's something that the show gives us a lot, but it never allows it to exist.
We don't get to be in cahoots long term.
Anytime someone is, they're eliminated so quickly. And because it's something that the show does it a lot, and it is kind of one of my favorite tropes that I wish a few more shows did. It's tricky, so I understand why, but it taps into that thing where it's like, I feel like people are a little bit more okay with things than we acknowledge.
Sure.
And that does include murder to an extent, I think. And or if they're not flat out okay with it, people are also, I think, more willing to turn a blind eye to things than we acknowledge.
Sure.
And I think that that's very interesting how many people kind of know that he's kind of a murderer.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's that gray zone of humanity I find very seductive and scary and intriguing.
Yeah.
And this show deals in that a lot.
Well, it's like, especially because he's killed a lot of people, and every time it's been close to becoming public, he's been able to pivot it in a way that someone else did it. So it's like Dr. Nikki did it. And then, whatever the LA one, well, they pinned it on Chris D'Elia. I think they pinned everything on Chris D'Elia. And then it was like he was able to pin it on Love. And then, now Kate has covered up all the stuff that happened in London for him. And so that's kind of the thing where it's like, I do think...
And by having her be so wealthy and
powerful,
so corporate, they're kind of saying the quiet part out loud, where it's like, what is murder?
But what's
interesting
to me too about that specifically is that because Kate knows that she covered up stuff in London for him, and she knows that he did actually kill people, how is she not like, you definitely killed all those other people too? Like, how did she... I feel like she hasn't put that math together, because the way she's acting now is very like, no, you can't do it, anything but that. And I'm like, girl, you had to put something together in your head. But yeah.
I've loved the scenes with Penn and Anna, especially in the cage.
Yeah.
The power play,
Yeah.
the back and forth. Anna's so nuts, and the way that she like she was well into that kidnapping story by the time I realized what was actually happening.
Yeah.
Like what the way that she's like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
It's a reconstruction. The kidnappers needed something to send daddy.
So good. So fantastic.
And it's very Alexis.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I said, his son is back. It is his son with Love.
Yeah. I guess he just like yoinked him back from that gay couple.
Yeah, I
Because
kind
one of
of
them was
remember
blind.
that.
Yeah.
Didn't he like drop him off on their doorstep?
Yeah. With like a note. And so now he's just like yoinked him back, and now he's got him, and
He might be a bad guy.
he's definitely a bad
I
guy.
think this guy might be up to no good.
He's definitely up to no good.
And so they're afraid that Harrison has violence in him.
Henry.
Henry.
Harrison is the husband.
Right.
Yeah. Henry.
They're afraid that Henry has violence in him, so he's going to therapy.
he seems to be doing okay with the therapy.
Mhm.
And the thing is like, so he punched his cousin, I guess, Gretchen, Reagan's daughter, in the face.
She's like Bob's Burgers character.
Yeah.
She hasn't even spoken,
No,
and I'm
not even
already
a
like, I'm
single
not
word.
going to her birthday party.
So he punched her in the nose and broke it, and Reagan was on the warpath. But we like have really moved past the fact that Reagan was talking about Henry's mother being a murderer in front of Gretchen. So Gretchen was making fun of Henry and getting the other kids to pick on him on the playground. And so he hauled off and smacked her. And I, for one, think Henry is correct. And maybe Gretchen should be expelled. And then when he hucked the knife at dinner at Reagan, just absolutely incredible.
Screamed. I'll see if I can pull the clip to
But
put in.
It was a butter knife, but it still was so funny.
In the face.
Right, yeah, it hit her right in the temple. It was incredible.
So, yeah, and we do have Bronte's horrible boyfriend.
Yeah, Clayton.
My guess is he's here just to be killed.
Well, yeah, because Joe would do anything for her now because Kate doesn't want that part of him. So he's got to do it somewhere. And
As much as we love this show, the amount
it's insufferable.
of the amount of time we spend in this reaction watching it like this.
Yeah. He's also back to masturbating in inappropriate places, and then it was like into a handkerchief, and then he put it in the desk drawer and closed it.
It's a problem for whoever opens that drawer later.
The cops, hopefully. I don't know.
You were really taken out by that, and I was like, oh, men are disgusting.
He's so disgusting. I also, I'm calling it right now at the after season or episode 3. I think Kate might be pregnant. She turned down a glass of wine in that last scene. I think she's pregnant.
That would be
because she has been. The only reason I say it is because she's been drinking wine in every other scene.
That would be plot armor for her because
I don't think he'd kill her pregnant. No. Yeah, either that or she will go have it taken care of and then he'll kill her.
Yeah. God,
because she can't have a murderer's baby.
Ugh.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Her or
the show?
Oh well,
don't do that plot.
I mean, I'm just saying. I think she's pregnant. However that plays out after, whatever, I think she's pregnant.
So leave Teddy alone. I feel like he's a dead man walking.
He's so great. We had forgotten we liked him so much from the flight attendant. Yeah. But yeah, that is like mostly it for these 3 episodes. It's been a lot.
It's fun.
Yeah, but it's so fun.
It's fun. It's so dishy. It's so
So now the issue is, so Joe's trying to get Maddie to become Reagan because Reagan is trying to take the board seat and it'll get Kate ousted, basically. And so if we can get Maddie as Reagan to walk back this like Instagram live that she's doing.
But the whole the insulin, the diabetes type 1 thing is not, we're not done with that. Someone will find out.
Possibly. Yeah. Could be.
So, okay. We'll check back in later.
Bye.